Hi, this is the second episode concerning this Mac airspeed indicator from Smith. Today we will see the schematics, and after that we will perform some tests on this instrument. So let's start with the schematic. This is the complete schematic of this instrument. There are three different boards. On the left there is the front end of the sensors. In the middle, inside the orange area, this is the power supply, and the last board on the right here is the servo control loop. So let's start with the sensors. When I did the teardown in my last video, I thought that the sensors here was potentiometers, but actually these two sensors are not potentiometers, actually they are variable capacitors. So these capacitors are represented on the left, here. On the left of this page we have the sensors board inside the green area. The first sensor is here for the airspeed and the second one for the altitude here. The sensors are supplied with an AC voltage on this line. This voltage comes from this VIN oscillator. There is a sine signal at this point. The frequency is about 100 kHz and 5 volts RMS. The current flowing into this line depends on the value of the capacitor and also on the value of the AC voltage at this point. The current is rectified using this diode here. This current is converted into a DC voltage using this transimpedance amplifier. This is the same for the other sensor here. There is also a temperature compensation in that circuit. When the temperature increases, the voltage drops across this diode and this one decreases. So we should have an increase of the DC voltage at the output if nothing is done to compensate this effect. In order to compensate the variation of the voltage drop, there is exactly same circuit which is here in the feedback of the amplitude control of the sound generator. The amplitude at the output of this generator is measured using the same circuit, a capacitor which is adjustable, one diode here and another one here. This circuit is very close to the other circuits in the instrument. When the temperature increases, the voltage drop of this diode decreases, and this introduces a decrease of the voltage at the output. This voltage decrease compensates the increase of the output amplitude due to the decrease of the voltage drop. This way the amplitude, this output and this one are constant regarding the temperature. This capacitor is adjusted in order to have approximately the same AC current which flows into this line than on the other capacitors. So I don't know the procedure which is used for setting this capacitor. So we have also an adjustment of the sensitivity of these transimpedance amplifiers, and there is also an offset. So these offsets probably compensate for the residual capacitance here when the capacitor is minimum. At the output of these transimpedance amplifiers, we have two DC voltages which are proportional to the input capacitance here. These two voltages are fed to another board, which is on the center of this schematic here. The circuits are inside this red area here. The computation of the Mach value is done using this differential amplifier. The altitude voltage is here on this line, and the airspeed voltage is on the second line here. This differential amplifier provides at this output a voltage which is the first voltage airspeed minus the altitude voltage with some coefficients and an offset here. When the altitude increases, this voltage decreases. I have measured a voltage of approximately minus 0.9 volt at sea level. Therefore the output voltage here increases when the altitude increases. As the velocity of the sound decreases with altitude, at this output we have a value which corresponds to the Mach number, which increases when the altitude increases. This voltage corresponding to the Mach number is fed to two comparators here, this one and this one. So the first comparator senses the voltage corresponding to the Mach number, and the second comparator senses the voltage corresponding to the airspeed. If the Mach number or the airspeed is too low, one of these voltage will be at high level. Thanks to this OR gate using these two diodes, this voltage will be at high level. This high level will turn on this switch, which is the N-channel GFET. And there is an inverter here, so this one will be off. This switch permits to feed the measurement to the servo control loop, which is on the right. This one permits to feed a constant DC voltage to the servo control loop. When the airspeed and the Mach number are inside the allowable range, then this switch will turn on and this one will be off. And in that case, the value which is at the output of this op-amp is fed to the servo control loop. And this resistor permits to adjust the sensitivity of the servo control loop. This probably compensates for the variation of the RDS on of this GFET. The servo control loop is made with this amplifier here, which is the error amplifier. This is the virtual ground. In normal situation, we have two currents. The first current is negative. The first current is provided by the feedback potentiometer, which is supplied with a reference voltage of minus 7.5 volts. And the second current is provided by the signal itself, which flows through this resistor here, and this one. So this current is positive in that direction. This is the source current. The difference of these two currents flows into this feedback network, and the motor will run. So when this current is zero, the motor stops. We can see on this bottom right of this page the circuit which permits to activate the flag. So the voltage is sensed at the input of the output buffer here. So when this voltage is outside the limit, then the flag is activated. The reference voltage is performed using this reference diode. The reference voltage is 6.2 volts. The current flowing into this diode is adjustable using this trimmer. The current is provided using the reference voltage itself. It is a common practice. The reference voltage is adjustable using this trimmer. So this provides a voltage reference of 7.5 volts. This voltage is inverted using this minus 1 amplifier. There is a voltage of minus 7.5 volts at this output. The last circuit is the power supply. There is a first regulator here. This is the classic linear regulator using a Zener diode here. And this transistor has an error amplifier. This transistor drives the ballast transistor here. Then this voltage is split into two identical voltages. This is done by this virtual ground circuit. The voltage at this point is the mid value of the positive voltage and the negative one here. This circuit is actually a voltage follower. The output of the voltage follower is the ground. This instrument uses the virtual ground. There is also a comparison function which uses this comparator here. This potentiometer is linked to the index. You can change using the knob in front of the instrument. This voltage is compared to the voltage which is present at this point. And this voltage is actually the airspeed. There are some adjustments, offset and gain here. The output of this comparator is fed to the rear connector using this 1 kilo ohm protective resistor. This point is also available on the rear connector. I have connected this indicator to a 28 volts DC power supply. I have also connected the airspeed input pressure to this air pressure generator. I have only one air pressure generator, so it is not possible to simulate an altitude, but it is possible to expand manually the capsule in order to simulate a climb. So let's turn on the power supply. As you can see, the flag is off. I am going to increase the pressure in the pitot input. So as you can see that there is an activation of the Mach number when the airspeed is above 200 knots approximately. It is possible to verify the Mach number. For example, for an airspeed of 300 knots at sea level, the instrument indicates a Mach number of 44 approximately. So I have printed the table from the book Aircraft Instruments from H-Palette. We can check the Mach number value for 300 knots. For an airspeed of 300 knots at sea level, the Mach number should be 0.4 approximately. So the instrument displays 0.44, that is to say 10% error. We can check, for example, for 230, we should have 0.3. Okay, so we have 0.34. Maybe the error is lower when the altitude increases. So it is possible to simulate the climb. Normally the Mach number should increase with altitude for a given airspeed. So it is not easy, but you can see that we have this capsule which permits the measurement of the altitude. So I will try to expand manually this capsule, and normally the Mach number should increase. Okay, it is possible to move this counterweight here. Okay, I have to pull the counterweight, so you can see that effectively the Mach number increases when the capsule expands. Let's have a look on the servo control also. It may be possible to see the expansion of the capsule for the pitot pressure. It is just here. That's the end for the second episode concerning this Mach and airspeed indicator from Smith Industries. This is a nice instrument. This is the first instrument I see using variable capacitors as sensors. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.